You are welcomed here by me, and you might listen to me talking or not, but let's get straight to the point, and I'm taking too much time. So, maybe you know or don't, I don't know if I said it, but I'm going to be comparing two characters. Akayan, Ayakano, it should appear here. Also the name somewhere there. And Wojciech. So a 15-year-old versus a, what is he, 17? But I won't be comparing every version of him. I'm going to be comparing only anime version. So no manga, no light novel, no nothing. Just what I said. And maybe this is close, maybe this isn't close. You will see.
Say that to my fist.
Hmm. So let's start with Ayanokoji. So he is mostly known for his mastery of manipulation. Wow, I really can't speak. Going back. He is also known as the smartest student in the classroom of the elite, which takes place in Japan. It's a most prestigious school, advanced nurturing school, something something. Yes, I watched the entire, but I don't remember. Uh, and well, he has some feats to back it up that he's great at manipulation and great at everything else. Hmm. I think I'm going to more like list them than talk about them since I don't have great ability to remember, so I forget many things and I could even lie unknowingly. And as you might see or not, I don't have a scenario over here or anything to, even any notes to read from them. Nothing. He is like a genius or even super genius level. He can solve problems that have not been taught in high school. He is able to, or more like utilize laws. How are they called? Uh, yeah, laws to their greatest extent to win. He knows how to break others, to mold them into his weapons or pawn, pawns as he calls them. Wait, that's how you do it? Or more like say it? Pawns. Okay, now I think I got that right. He is athletic, super human even, I think, but I don't really know. I'm not really good at scaling, so if anybody will want to redo this video, go on, I won't object. Hmm. Hmm. Does he have more any feats or not? I mean, I think this is all because other feats would be like he upscales other characters and what they can do. And I'm not going to analyze so much. I don't have really time for that. It's a bit too late at time when I'm filming this and going to post this. Uh, so he has like genius level intelligence or even super genius. We don't really see extent of his full abilities because he doesn't really need to use them. He wants to just have a normal life. And I think this is all that could be said about him. As I said, I'm not really good at scaling or remembering, so now to scale the other side, Wojciech. He is a 15-year-old who finished primary school. So he doesn't really have much knowledge to begin with. He has some feet, but it's hard to say. So also here should appear like the percentages on how he takes some problems, let's say, or how much intelligence or brain power or however it is called he has to use. And basically from every feat that has he ever done, think, anti-feat, however you want to call them, he didn't have to use all that he had. He didn't even once use very serious, which it's hard to say if it's surprising or not. And so getting to his feats, there is a few, but the most important ones or that scale him highest would be trying to solve twin prime conjecture, which he almost solved, but still has a few things to do before he could really claim he solved it. Second was like trying to prove that God exists. He can't really do it 100%, so he uses a different method, like just stacking things. So he finds one, shows how it points to God, it puts it down. Then he finds another and puts on top of it. And he does that again and again. So he just stacks things that might prove that God exists. So there is a higher chance that he does. And it's harder to show that he doesn't or that there is a different explanation. He can also prove why God can do everything, know everything, so omnipotent, omniversal, being above everyone, knowing everything, and these all other things that are associated with being God or something like that. He can also do, let's say, math on his own, so he can find or even create new equations. I know they aren't really impressive. He also tries to develop new theory. For now, he has only concepts in that theory and not any math because he knows too little. I mean, let's be serious. He's still a 15-year-old. How would he do something like that? And so, if we put them against each other, who would win? Well, it depends on where do you put them. Because now it's more about like personality than their feats. And also in what thing they have to do. Because in manipulating, Ayanokoji wins. He just does. In, in academic things, if if it's a competition to remember something, Ayanokoji wins. If it's a competition to create something, Wojciech wins. If it would be in that school in which Ayanokoji is, then it depends because now we need to get to the personality and the other things. So Ayanokoji likes to be optimal. He tries to be normal, but at the same time he can't really because he was just teach differently. He's not foreign to use violence or not non-moral tactics to get what he wants. He is like always emotionless. He sees others as just things to be used to get his own goals, which is and which is like completely opposite to what Wojciech is. Because Wojciech is likes to be helpful, kind. He will help others who need that help. He doesn't really need much from others. Even a simple thank you can repay what he did to you, or helped in that case. Of course, he can use violence. He doesn't really have problems. If he is forced, then he will do it. So he is kind, but he also can be evil. I mean, it's hard to say or describe his personality since he can be anything really. He can have anything assigned to him and he will fit in the personality at least. He can be good, he can be bad, he can be neutral, he can watch, he can intervene, he can be peaceful, he can be basically anything in that sense. Changing personalities is not too different to him. And so now to the more strategic things, let's say. And so Ayanokoji is adaptable. He can plan out what you will do. He can use that to steer you into his plans. He can control you basically from the shadows. He can make entire plans or understand them in seconds. And Wojciech, he also is adaptable. If something doesn't work, then he will try the other thing. He doesn't really like to fight, let's say. He likes to be peaceful. He can quickly analyze things. He can understand what you are doing. He can also guess on how much you know about him and use that to his advantage. He can be strategic with how he presents information. I mean, he's so adaptable that anything you throw at him, he might find a way to solve it. He might find a way to not lose anything. He is also very creative. And that would be the most important things, I think. So if Ayanokoji try to control him, would that work? No, it wouldn't. You might ask why, since he is so good at manipulating. But tell me this, can you be manipulated when you know you are being manipulated? You can't really, and then you might play with him, you might dance to his music until you decide to stop. I mean, you are in his plans for as long as you know, or at least as you want. Once you decide it's enough, then you can just stop playing it. You don't have to play it, you can just decide to do it. So here it would be the same. If Yanakoji for whatever reason tried to control Wojciech would almost immediately see this because he would notice that Yanakoji is acting like differently with him, or even if the in the same way, then he would be cautious because he's always cautious of others, and well, he could either destroy their plans and his plans, nullify them, or just straight up not do them. Just not do it and walk away, not having a problem. Even if Ayanokoji would know that Wojciech knows and he would try to use that, well then Wojciech might as well not care if Ayanokoji tries to manipulate him. Wojciech can just say no or walk away and not care. We know that it is possible since Koenji also doesn't care, he just follows his heart. So Ayanokoji can't really use their weaknesses to somehow control him. And here it would be a bit similar. But what if Wojciech tried to get rid of Ayanokoji? How would then that work? I don't think that he would succeed, since Ayanokoji would also know that Wojciech is planning to get rid of him. If Ayanokoji didn't try to do anything, maybe then Wojciech would succeed, but at the same time maybe he wouldn't. There is a slim chance that he would. But if both of them are in the advanced nurturing school something in Japan, then the dynamic entirely shifts. Since there is one thing that is in the school rules that Wojciech could exploit to the fullest. What would it be? That you can buy anything with points. You might think, well, Ayanokoji already used it, didn't he? He used it to buy that point for, I forgot his name. To buy him that point so he wouldn't fall out of the school. But here is the thing that Wojciech could use. So when he learns that Ayanokoji, yes, okay. Man, I'm so dumb. So when he learns about that rule, let's say that you can buy anything with points, and he also starts with that 1 million points, he could do something interesting, let's say. So, when he learns about this rule, he decides to come up to his teacher. He asks him if he could buy something. Teacher can't really object since, well, you can buy anything with points. Maybe he would be surprised, but he wouldn't have a problem. And so Wojciech would say something like this. How much would it cost me to buy the next thing for 100,000 points? Or in other words, how much it would cost me for the next thing to cost 100,000 points. Let's say 500,000. And so Wojciech pays that and the next thing costs 100,000 points. And then he says again, I'd like to buy that anything from any teacher will cost me 1 single point. Teacher can't really object since you can buy anything with points. Wojciech has only to pay 100,000 points instead of like, I don't know, 20 million, 100 million. So he in reality only had to use 600,000 points to get everything else for 1 point. And if you don't really see how is that OP, well then he can basically buy anything for 1 point. Someone is going to be expelled. He asks the teacher to basically pay points to bring him back. How much it costs? 1. He wants to go to the higher class, like from class D to class C, let's say, because he would be in class D. He asks teacher if he can buy that. 1 point still. But because you can buy anything with points. Here is the real problem. Wojciech understands how much can one buy with how much he can buy. And so if Ayanokoji ever tried to have a problem with him, and he wouldn't really know. Ayanokoji wouldn't really know that Wojciech has everything for only a single point, since he would make sure that no one knows about this. Then he could come up to the teacher and say something like this. I'd like to pay for Ayanokoji to be expelled. In this week, when no one is with him, when he is even sleeping, for for the school to then throw him up, no, throw him out. That's better. Throw him out of the school and to not let him come back. And so, at most within a week, Ayanokoji would not be in school. And wanna guess how many it would cost? One single point. If you and if you say that, well, this wouldn't really work because the teacher wouldn't allow for everything to cost 1 point, or even if he allowed, then he could always break that. Wojciech would also know this because he likes to explore or push even laws to the line, try to push it as far as possible to see what is allowed and what isn't. He could always ask a teacher and or to like sign a contract that he has to follow and every other teacher has to. He can do it. I mean, can't he? He can also ask for that when he ask, asks the teacher to be able to buy anything with 1 point. And then comes the Ayanokoji ace up the sleeve. Ayanokoji's ace up the sleeve. That's how you say it. Plot intelligence. This is something like plot armor, but plot intelligence is basically giving your character intelligence without really having anything to prove that he did. So he might claim that he can solve every problem and any problem, or there would be some kind of problem that could not be solved and that character is somehow solves it, or just solves something that he should not be or it should be impossible. That is plot intelligence, basically. So here it could be the same that Ayanokoji is somehow in some way using his plot intelligence, would know about this, would know how to counter this and would get Wojciech kicked out, not himself. Then he can't really do it because that's also plot armor with plot intelligence. So, summarizing, if these two were to clash, it would be really interesting because from one point you have the perfect genius, and from the other you have the genius everyone wants to be. So it would be interesting to see how it would develop and just how it would go. But in the end, if we are only using skills, then Ayana Koji wins on the physical side and Wojciech wins on the mental side, let's say. Because he can't really be manipulated. He can now try to outsmart Ayanokoji, but I don't know if it would work. So it would be either a stalemate or Wojciech would find something like this. So as I described with that 1 point for everything and win. So it's either a stalemate or a win for Wojciech. If we are not using plot intelligence and armor, because then Ayanokoji wins. Because he's the main character after all. How could main character not win? It is a question, but not a real one. And if not clash, just compare their abilities, then Ayana Koji wins on the knowledge and manipulating skills, also with remembering, because Wojciech has a average to a bit worse than average memory. But on the rest, I think Wojciech would win. Maybe not battle intelligence, but he could try to out-adapt the battle intelligence of Ayanokoji. So that would be all for this one, and I think I will see you in the other one, in the next one, in which it will be something other. So see you again and bye. Hmm?